Okay. Hello. I'm here because I have to make an update because I took too long to upload this video. Uh, Most of the bugs that I've been mentioning here have probably been fixed by Gaijin based on their change logs. So I'll just mark the ones that have been fixed with a fixed um, logo on top. But since there are new bugs being introduced into the game as we speak, most of the points that I made in this video still stand, so most of the script will remain. That's it. Thank you. This is Post Recording Doc out. Hello and welcome back. Update Leviathans is here. But with this new update, aside from around 20 premium vehicles, an issue that actually warrants its own discussion for another time, and the new maps, new mechanics, of which a very underrated one is the ability to swap ATGMs without firing them. Actually, a great mechanic, spurred on by the sole fact that the Spider originally had to fire the chosen missile before swapping, which it didn't need to in real life. So, the feature was baked in for the Spider and the other ATGMs. They also put in the Yamato and Bismarck and Iowa, which, I'm not a naval guy, is apparently big for the naval people. I asked my friend to explain it to me in Formula 1 terms, and he told me that it would be like Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna was added to the 2025 grid, and for some reason Lance Stroll outqualified them in every race. I asked him why, and he told me that Yamato's ammo placement is so poor that most straddling shots of guns above 20 cm could reliably cook the ammo. But I've not much knowledge about the comings and goings of naval, since most of my naval experience since 2018 was just the PGO2 and abusing the Moffat. But anyway, yeah, patch day. War Thunder patch day always carries the expectation of bugs. But this patch was egregiously terrible. An entire game mode thrown into chaos because proxy fuses on missiles don't work as they should. They say they fixed it, but a week in, the bug still happens, and Air RB is still mostly unplayable. Text on the screen permanently stuck on there, which causes kill messages to disappear quick, and weirdly enough, the lake at the new rework Kuban map allow you to hide underwater without drowning your crew or damaging your vehicle. Laser guidance was temporarily screwed up, fuel starvation in jets, and now I've experienced multi-vehicle SPAA kills, not counting towards my special tasks. We've all joked that patch day was still a dev server build until at least halfway through the patch cycle. But the problem is this live build is so broken, it introduced more bugs than it had on dev. In a week in, most of them haven't been fixed, and new ones have actually been introduced. We can argue about how bad some vehicles were implemented, CSSA 5, at a different time. Right now, the game is going through some of its buggiest phases in its history, and that's saying something, because this game has had a fair share of insane bugs, which I'll make a little Hall of Fame later at the end of the video. But for now, let's try and dissect some of the biggest bugs in the game. Let's start with the missile proxy bug. So the missile proxy bug is so called because it only specifically affects missile proxy fusing. Should you achieve a direct hit on the missile, it will still do damage. But if your target maneuvers and forces a missile to rely on its proxy fuse, it won't do any damage. It will look like it exploded sometimes, but it won't do damage. For obvious reason, this has made Air RB quite complicated to play. You just gotta tune out the voices of the people that say they enjoy this mode more with ass cheeks missiles. They're just dead wrong. And your schizophrenia is getting the better of you. I've personally wanted to play and take out the F2, the big air thing, that they hyped up for this patch. The one that they've been lubing up to serve you on a platter. No, it's not worth the aggravation to try and play Air RB at the moment, in my opinion. If you want to try and play ass cheeks missiles, that's on you. You enjoy the ass cheeks you want to enjoy, sir. Then you've got the next bug, the text bug, finally has a video release. Whenever this is, because all I do is procrastinate, it has been patched. What would happen is that the objective text in Ground RB would not disappear and would stack, so the screen would be filled with capture messages and would cause the kill feed to screw up and not display recent kills. For obvious reasons, this would be somewhat detrimental to Ground Force's gameplay because these text tips are essential to situational awareness and knowing what's going on around you. I guess that is the definition of situational awareness. Yeah. My brain's buggy right now. Oh, and because I haven't finished this script in one day like I used to do, I started this like 3 days ago, I snagged another bug. Got killed by a tank hiding inside a windmill. They can shoot out of it, but you can't shoot into it. Amazing QA work from Gaijin. Honestly, 19 premiums this update and about 190 bugs on patch day. Most of the bugs we're experiencing now are patch day bugs, by the way. The dev server, which you expected to be buggy, turned out to be more stable than the patch release. But no, I'm not saying the dev server didn't have bugs. It had its own fair share of teething problems, especially with regards to new vehicles. Things like multi-SAM vehicles being able to drive out of bounds by using cruise control and switching back to the TADs. But those were easily patched out by Dev 2 and by patch day. Well, if you want to know the scale of the Air RB bug, it's officially been 7 days as of writing this script, maybe 8 or 9 by the release of this video, since the bug was introduced, and it hasn't been patched out. Same with the clipping through windmills bug. There have been around 4 to 5 updates since this patch drop, and none of them seem to address the bigger bugs. Yes, thank you for the HUD fix, or the random fuel flow fix, Gaijin, but come on. You need to fix ARB, dude. The bug where HE ammo on guns don't do much damage against aircraft, yes, that's been patched for the most part. Good job, but when they said they patched the missile bug, no, it's not the case. It's still a big issue. So I guess if Gaijin keeps piling bugs on top of this game, I guess they have no choice but to rename their studio Bethesda Hungary, because this seems to be in line with the Bethesda core values. I've always joked that Bethesda mainline games take painstaking years to come out because the devs have to consider which new bugs to introduce and never fix. That seems to be the case in this patch cycle. I haven't touched ARB before I made this video, nor do I intend to until I'm fully confident that they patched the AAM bug, hence the Ground RB content. And because I can't seem to get a break, yet another bug has hit the Jenga tower that is the War Thunder source code. This time, HE shells that shouldn't pen thick front plates apparently pen the thick front plates. No idea where this issue has stemmed, but yet another game-breaking bug has been introduced into the game. I'm astounded at how many bugs have come into this game at the time when they're already quite familiar with how the game engine should work. I don't know why these bugs keep coming. It's probably because they keep introducing new features without vetting it or how it interacts with code, or they're just taking shortcuts when it comes to code in order to introduce new mechanics. But anyway, another issue with Gaijin handling their bugs, which is the biggest problem, is their transparency. Transparency in anything, really. They refuse to tell us what's exactly causing these bugs, whether they know what causes it, nor have they any idea why they don't know what causes it. So, you have players blindly waiting for fixes so that they don't get soft lag out of a game mode, or their game experience negatively affected by players actively exploiting these bugs. And, well, you know, bugs are bugs. You can't avoid bugs, actually, but you gotta know why it is a bug. You gotta know how this bug came about, and you gotta know how to fix it. But Gaijin doesn't tell us any of those, so we're just here twiddling our thumbs, we're sitting on our hands waiting for a fix, and most of the time we don't get a fix. Oh, I forgot I intended to end this video with a Hall of Fame of bugs in the past that deserved it, so here you go. Thank you for watching. This is the Dr. MD. As always, Godspeed.